What if Peter Parker became the Punisher? This tale begins as every other Spider-Man origin story does, with a young man being bitten by a radioactive spider and gaining incredible abilities. At home, money was a bit tight, so he first used these abilities to make some quick dough as an entertainer. But one fateful night, he let a burglar go, and that burglar would end up killing his Uncle Ben. And that is where this tale deviates. Peter Parker chased this burglar down to the warehouse where he was trapped by police. And in act of rage, realizing that this was the man he let go, he took the burglar's gun and killed him with it. His Uncle Ben had always told him that with great power must come great responsibility. And from that moment on, he's never going to let an innocent person get hurt ever again, by any means necessary, even if they have to vilify him for it. Most villains were a walk in the park for him to take down, except for the Green Goblin. So he's gonna have to devise some better weapons. Within his web shooters, he installed a plethora of different ammunition. Explosives, armor-piercing rounds, incendiary rounds, and EMPs. While loaded with all of this ammunition, the Sinister Six, a group of supervillains who had teamed up to take out Spider-Man, were no problem. When Peter got to college, though, things changed for him. He met his roommate, Harry Osborn, and became smitten with a classmate, Gwen Stacy. He decided to briefly step away from being the punishing Spider. Even when the gang wars began to rise again, he said, hey, as long as the bad guys are killing each other, that's fine by me. Still, he had the continual threat of the Goblin, who he had discovered was Norman Osborn, and Norman Osborn discovered that Spider-Man was Peter Parker. Briefly, the Goblin was under some amnesia and forgot that he was the Goblin and Peter was Spider-Man. But over time, he eventually snapped out of that, and then attacked Peter where it hurt most. He had kidnapped Gwen Stacy and said if Spider-Man jumps off the building without trying to save himself, then he'll let her live. Though Spider-Man had prepared to fight the Goblin this time. With several armor-piercing rounds placed in the exact same spot, he was able to take down the Goblin. But the Goblin was still holding on to Gwen Stacy as he died, causing them both to fall off the building. Now, Peter knew his attempt to save Gwen as she was falling may cause her to die anyway, but his instinct kicked in and he had to try. And unlike another tale in a similar scenario, he was able to save her. And this is when Peter realizes that he can't blow this chance of making Gwen happy, of being a good boyfriend and potentially husband if she'll have him. He almost blew it with her, but never again. He's Spider-Man no more. Choosing love, not vengeance. This tale ends over in Central Park, where the Castle family gets caught in a bloodbath. Both parents and the two young children were presumably killed, though Frank Castle's body was never found.